second to connect there. I was a little worried.
Just want to make sure you're really sure you want to go online.
Yeah, it was chugging for a second. Like, maybe it won't connect tonight, actually. So how was your day?
Pretty good. Pretty lazy Sunday.
I wish.
I didn't sleep super well, so a little tired, but, got my cooking done, got my chores done, did some spring cleaning. It was just a pretty stay at home, get some chores done, do some cooking, kind of relaxed kind of day. What about you?
I cooked. I did all my dishes. What else did I do? I did the podcast stuff. Cooking took a long time. I did cooking and dishes took a long time. I made sausage pockets with, instead of using sausage, I used it's Impossible sausage, the plant-based stuff. And I bought
like the vegetable, yeah.
Yeah, and I bought the spicy version because I find generally the more spices those things have, the better they taste. And it tastes pretty much the same to me. I can't tell the difference, at least in that product, or mixed in with all the the stuff to make the sausage pockets. I can't tell that it's not real sausage. So.
Hey, well, that's the point, right?
Yeah,
that's the dream.
And
I also made some sausage. Mine was meat based.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to the point where it's always people always complain about how expensive the non-meat alternatives are. But because of the inflation costs of the meat products, they're going to be the same price here soon. Oof. I think this was either $6.99 or $5.99, and the only reason I got it was because I had a $2 off coupon. I was like, that brings it down within normal meat prices for me, so I was like, I'll get that.
Well, there you go. And if it tastes the same and it's about the same price, why not?
Yeah. At least for this. I mean, if I was just eating, if you just cooked it and ate it out of a bowl, obviously, probably going to taste a little different. But with this, it's mixed in with cheese. And, in a crescent roll kind of thing. So it tastes exactly the same as it always has to me.
I do like crescent rolls. Oh.
Well, they're not crescent shaped. You put the big dollop of the mixture in the middle and then you fold it up over it.
So it's basically like a crescent biscuit.
It's like a little, it's a little. It looks like what are those satchels called? A bindle. It's like a little bindle of meat and cheese.
I have not heard this word bindle in a long time. Oh, like there's things that like old timey like homeless men that jumped on like railway cars.
Yeah,
like have a stick over there.
You get your stick and then you take your kerchief and you put all your stuff in it and you tie it into a bindle.
Man, what was this? The 1920s?
I think it's probably even before then.
They call me Penny Joe. I live by the railway track.
Fucking
that's when some prided youngster. Gee whiz, you get to go wherever you want. You don't have to listen to your parents. It ain't all what it's cracked up to be, kid. Now get on out of here. Also, you want to buy some crack?
I got one shot of whiskey on me for that old gut rot.
Man, to be in the past where you could just drink away your sorrows.
Yeah, not very good. Well, you know the story behind Prohibition, right?
I mean, it was a bunch of teetotalers, like types that want to impose it on the entire country.
Well, that's what it ended up with. But Prohibition was initially actually very popular, because what had happened was it used to be the case where people would drink a lot, but it would be beer, and it would be very low proof, like 1% or 2%. So
right.
It was extremely non-alcoholic, but it was safe because it had alcohol in it. Which is why it was, it kept people hydrated because it was such low alcohol content. But then as we got better at producing alcohol, people were drinking the same amount, but now it was spirits. It was whiskey and much harder things. So it was just kind of like a nation of drunks. Because there used to be, you'd have like a big barrel or something near the front of the house, and every once in a while you just go get a.
you just take a big scoop out of the top of it.
And Prohibition was actually very popularly supported, which is why it passed initially. But it was only supposed to ban hard liquor. Was the plan. Beer and wine would still be allowed, but the teetotalers went hard. No, none of that whatsoever. So a full ban was passed, and most of the people that were supporting it were like, "Hey, hold on, this isn't what we agreed to. We were just going to ban the hard stuff. We weren't going to ban, the rest of it." So that's why it eventually got overturned. So if we had only banned hard liquor, we might still have prohibition today. Probably not. It probably would have gotten repealed. In the 80s.
Oh, that's not a world I want to live in. Is a man not deserving of the bottle of beer in his fridge?
No, beer would be allowed, Cooper.
Well, but my beer is spiked with vodka.
Why would you do that?
Because I like to not enjoy things.
But if you're looking for a good documentary on it, Ken Burns' Prohibition documentary, very good.
What, when I have 17 hours to spare?
It's not 17 hours. Let me look it up. It's pretty short. Ken Burns' Prohibition. It's a miniseries. There's only 3 episodes.
Oh, wow.
You might be able to just watch it on pbs.com or .org.
For free.
Yeah. Sure, that's my local station. Okay, well, they're a bit long. Episode 1's 96 minutes, episode 2 is 111, and episode 3 is 106. But I highly recommend. It's basically before, during, and after. Or like right at the end. But it is very, very good. I mean, all of Ken Burns' stuff is just fantastic, but
he's famous for it.
Yeah. Haven't been able to watch the Vietnam one. I prefer pictures that are black and white and just slide across the screen, not full color video in my horrific documentaries, please. I like the Prohibition one. It's like,
you like the vague disconnect.
Well, also it's not a horrible thing in history, right? Prohibition's like, it was a thing.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. We banned.
It's like, oh man,
we banned all alcohol. Ooh.
What were we thinking?
Japes and jokes, not we invaded a country and here's a video of people getting shot. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't want to watch anything that heavy. I want to watch. I want to watch about the Prohibition. I want to hear about how all of the Kennedys were basically just fucking each other. That's the kind of stuff. Like
they were a horny bunch.
Vague historical knowledge, not war knowledge. I'm not into that.
Was this to get a music podcast?
Well, we're doing the.
I know. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I have to admit, Cooper, I didn't do my homework.
How so?
I didn't listen to that. The most recent message, whatever that is.
You didn't listen to my shoegaze recommendation?
No, I didn't listen.
Cockatoo Twins, Heaven or Las Vegas.
This has been one heck of a week. I just didn't get around to it.
Okay, well, that's okay. Just take your time, whenever you can enjoy it.
But it's there. I'll get there.
This isn't one of those you'll get there when you don't actually get there, right?
Well, no, I listened to other stuff that you told me to listen to.
Yeah, next time you're run on the treadmill.
No, I watch anime while I run.
Sometimes a nice thumping album.
No.
Doesn't get you going.
No.
You can't break from tradition for one session.
No. Because if I just listen to music, then I'm not distracted, and I don't run as hard.
I find music's the only thing that gets me running harder.
It's a mental thing. Well, yeah, it can, but I'm saying it's consistent. If you're mentally distracted, then you aren't focusing on the fact that you'd rather not be running right now. Whereas you're probably using music to keep beat, right?
I do like keeping beat, and I can snap along to it. Ooh, child, it can get easier. I just play that song. That's the only song I listen to. That and the Oompa Loompa song from Willy Wonka.
The Oompa Loompa song? What?
Yeah, you never rented the Willy Wonka soundtrack? OST.
You rented it? What?
No, I'm joking.
What did you go to Blockbuster?
I went to my local Family Video.
No, sorry, those are gone too.
What? That's closed down?
Yeah, they didn't survive the pandemic.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Frankly, I'm surprised they got to the pandemic.
I mean, they were pretty prolific. There was
were they profitable?
One in West Lafayette. There was a couple in Fort Wayne. There were several across Indiana, and I think in total they still had pre-pandemic. They still had like 200 stores across the USA. So they were. I'd call that pretty prolific. It's no McDonald's or Subway, but for a rental video store, that's pretty good.
For technology that's woefully out of date.
I think they held on because they started selling CBD oil.
Ow.
Propping up that a little bit. I mean, we used one, didn't we? We used one in college.
Yeah, ironically, once.
We rented Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Honestly, that movie did carry big Family Video energy, so...
Yeah, I think it was pretty good rate too. It was like 50 cents.
Yeah, how do you make money off of that?
Well, you got to think how cheap DVDs are today. You know, they just go somewhere, pick up DVDs, and then they rent them out, and they're making a profit after. Because I bought the entire three disc set of Lord of the Rings, $1 each. You know, so you rent that out twice per disc. You're already in the profit, so it's pretty easy. You know, you get people in door like, well, it's 50 cents to rent it, and it's not on. I'm not going to buy a whole streaming service to watch this thing. So I think it's still a viable business model with how dang cheap DVDs are, because you can get a pretty significant inventory for like $100, especially if you buy like.
I'm not sure how viable it is, considering all of them are closed down.
Well, yeah, I think mom and pop disc rental stores are doable.
I think streaming is too prolific. It's taking its share of the market, so to speak.
Yeah, but imagine if you did rental, but you also coupled it with like consoles, right? So you rent out the console as well. Ooh, my finger
do that.
Dislocated, I think.
What? You dislocated your finger?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh goodness.
Oh, it's sore at least. I don't know. I think I'm ahead of my time. No, everybody.
I think you're about 20 years behind your times.
Yeah, I think if people want to play...
1994 is calling. They want their idea back.
I think if people are playing games nowadays, they're just using an emulator. It's easier.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess if you're like a specialty store, maybe. Like a big city.
Yeah.
You get enough interest.
You couple it with... like the old game stores, like you sell old games.
Like board games and
you sell board games. You're a video game reseller, so people can sell their games to you, and then you sell them again.
Yeah, you host events.
On the side, you have, hey, if you want to rent this console and the games, there you go. But then you run into the issue of your stock's constantly changing, because if you're renting the games, you might as well sell the ones you're renting out as well. I don't know. I think it's too much complication for not enough extra profit.
This is 10 years from now, Sam, when these little game stores start taking off, you're going to wish you got in on it now.
I'm all right.
I thought of it first. Okay, Grandpa, it's time for bed.
Well, that's my idea. They owe me money.
I thought of that 10 years ago. I'm only 36. Okay, Grandpa.
20s were not kind to me.
All that CBD oil.
Yeah. All right, let's actually do the podcast.
Yeah.
Where's my buttons? There we go. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast.
Welcome back.
We're doing a hot release, fresh off the presses.
Ooh, ouch.
Literally just on Friday. Montero by that's right. That's how you say it, right, Cooper?
Montero, yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Montero by Lil Nas X. And this one has been, I think it's been pretty highly anticipated with how much the titular track song has been played to death before the albums even come out.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, Lil Nas, he's a kind of a big deal right now in the music scene. Really busted onto viral popularity back in 2019 with a little song you may have heard of called Old Town Road. The country rap singer that inexplicably became the longest number one hit on the Billboard's Hot 100, 19 consecutive weeks.
That's the longest ever?
Yep.
Wow.
Since their debut in 1958. So, that's covering
pretty significant.
basically the range of popular music.
Yeah.
I mean, and
what held
he
the
did
record
pretty
before this.
I remember looking at it. It was some I think Mariah Carey song or something.
Oh, lame. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it wasn't something super important, but Lil Nas 2019. So he did that at the age of 20 years old, since he was born in 1999.
That makes me feel a bit insignificant.
I mean, yes, we are older than Montero Lamar Hill. That's his real name. And he's diamond certified. So,
we're not much older, right? We're late bloomers.
We could still make our country rap.
No.
There's still time. Okay, Grandpa, it's time for soup. I'm only 28.
I still got all my teeth.
Not anymore. Yank. But yeah, so that basically propelled him into superstardom. It's a mixture of really good marketing, it actually being a really catchy song. That's pretty memey, but also catchy. He released 1,000 different remixes of it, which helped to keep it in the limelight. There's of course his original. Then there was the one with Billy Ray Cyrus. That's the most popular one. Pretty sure it did one with BTS, the Korean boy band.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that they had to help him reach a very wide audience.
He also, I think, did one with the kid who did the Walmart yodeling thing. So
I keep hearing about that, but I've never looked it up, and I kind of don't really want to.
You already missed the train by 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not interested. That's a train I'm happy to miss.
So Old Town Road, big deal. But Montero, he was not done, and he's gone on to release many singles leading up to this album release. This is his debut album.
Really?
Yes, his first only. Up until now, he's only released singles.
I thought he did an EP.
He may have done EP. He did one extended play.
Okay.
Yeah, one EP. But I mean, it was like Old Town Road and Panini. And the Old Town Road remix. So he did have an EP, but first actual debut title album, full album that he's released. I mean, he had a bunch of nominations at the Grammys. And he's also, been named by Time as one of the most influential people in 2019. And he's also quite turned some heads by being basically the first openly gay black artist to win a country music award. Which, given the country music awards, that's not super surprising.
Traditionally, the demographic associated with country has some issues with several of the demographics that he's in.
Yes, so that's not too surprising. But so Montero is his debut album, released September 17th, 2021, just a few days ago. And he's been pumping out single and music video after music video on this one. Keeping it the buzz alive with memeage and controversy, which we'll get into with some of the songs later. I'm not sure if you've seen any of his music videos, Sam.
I've seen a couple.
For my research, I went through and watched all of them for his this album. Yeah, actually quite a few. Man's got an aesthetic, very CGI heavy, and he definitely likes his memes. His video he released right as the album dropped was him giving birth to the album.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Done very tongue-in-cheekly, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's a guy with his finger on the pulse, and his numbers show it. Like, good Lord, what's happening in there? He's like got so many Spotify streams. I mean, just the songs off this album. Montero has almost 1 billion. Industry Baby has 400 million. His singles do very well.
Yeah. I mean, it helps that he's very good at marketing them. I will say I've experienced this firsthand, as anytime I ride in my sister's car, Montero is listened to at least fucking 4 times, no matter how long the car ride is. So.
He is the Gen Z man that we're all asking for.
Well, he's like a year younger than us. He's not even Gen Z. He just appeals to Gen Z.
Nice Gen Z
sensibilities.
I mean, yeah, 1999 is Gen Z.
Oh, it was 99. I thought he was older. Jesus, he's so fucking young. At least
he's
not 2000s. That'd make me feel really bad.
I mean, he only missed it by less than a year, so.
Yeah, I know. Listen, let me just sit in my underwear and play video games in peace.
This flesh drips off of old bones.
Oh, man.
Well, enough of rattling on about dying. Let's go on to the actual album. With track number 1, Montero,
the parentheses,
track. Call Me By Your Name. So this was the lead single for the album, and the title track, and the opening track.
And it's the one I've heard by far the most.
It is the most streamed off this album. Like I said, almost 1 billion streams. So, this is everywhere.
I honestly wasn't exaggerating when I said my sister plays it every time I'm in her car. Like, I knew it pretty well from just that. And then going into this week, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I know this whole song already because I've heard it so many damn times. It's a good song.
Yeah, I mean, it's catchy. It's it's barely over 2 minutes long.
Very short.
So it's very, very snappy.
I will say I am pretty pissed because ever since I listened to it to do the typing up today of my thoughts, it's been stuck in my head, which I hate.
It's quite the earworm. Yeah. I've also had it stuck in my head since I've been listening to this.
I think is part of why it's had so much staying power.
Yeah, that's Lil Nas is very good at creating the earworm.
Mm-hmm. Skill he and Jeff Lynne share.
You may be the first and only person to compare Lil Nas X to Jeff Lynne. Where's my Old Town Row Jeff Lynne remix?
I don't think anybody wants that.
I want it. This one has I'm not going to say the instrumental skeletal, but it's got a kind of an interesting, kind of almost like Spanish acoustic guitar bass.
Yes, I love the Spanish acoustic guitar. It is ever present on this album, and I love that it's ever present.
Of course, it's paired with this kind of very bassy synth that kind of adds that extra oomph, along with some of the vocals that are especially on the chorus. His vocals get very deep, very bassy.
I think that's the part that keeps it stuck in my head because you know me, I like my weird.
Your low registers.
Well, that and weird gimmicks in songs, but that vocal spread on the chorus. Oh man, I think I did dislocate my finger. I can't. I did the fucking music bars with my hands on the spread, and I'm like, oh, I can't straighten that finger. But that vocal spread on the chorus is very nice. It's not got much going on in the way of instrumentals, but it totally makes up for it with attention to detail in the vocal line.
Very much attention on the vocal line. Lil Nas X's vocals kind of they jump around on this track, even for 2 minutes.
Oh yeah,
they're pretty varied. I mean, they get pretty bassy, and then he also has some higher register parts on the lyrics.
I mean, to be fair, this one is quite mostly chorus, but it's a 2 minute.
I mean, it's 2 minutes,
yeah,
so
it's fine. He gets away with it.
Yeah,
and the chorus is structured in such a way that it doesn't feel repetitive because of how much there is. It's so dense. There's so much going on. As opposed to some of the later songs, which the chorus is a bit sparse.
Well, the song also had some controversy attached to it, Sam. I'm not sure how much you've heard about this.
Well, it's the Pearl Clutchers not liking him giving the devil a lap dance, right?
Yes, in his music video, he performs lap dance on the devil and then kills him, then presumably becomes Satan. Which multiple conservative figures in the United States deemed it immoral or harmful to children.
I mean, they keep telling him to go to hell, and he just was following their advice.
Yes, this is part of Lil Nas X's brilliant marketing strategy, because every time someone pushes back, he just digs farther in. Like, the response to this was him releasing the Satan shoes, which is literally a pair of Nike Air Max 97s painted with a pentagram and made with, how was it described, 60 cc's of ink and 1 drop of human blood, which he sold for $666. Sorry, he sold for he sold for $1,000, but he only made 666 pairs. And they sold out in minutes, or in under a minute, before Nike sued him for not having permission to modify their shoes. But it's still very funny. Basically, he's like, I can go more satanic. And of course,
the important thing to note is here, when people push back against him, he's not hurting anyone, right? It's not like it's he's refusing to get the vaccine and doubling down every time or some shit like that. He's just being himself, and people are being upset at him about it.
Yeah, and he's very tongue-in-cheek about it. If you follow his Twitter or look at his music videos, he's very much in on the joke of it. Though at the same time, he's obviously also very open about his sexuality, and treats that with seriousness, but also likes to get campy with it as well. I mean, the music video is him riding a Super Bowl down to hell, so he's not taking this too seriously.
It's pretty iconic.
Yes. Honestly, the whole album, lyric-wise, we probably won't go into lyrics too much on this review.
I can tell you, I didn't listen to any of them.
I know you did, but yeah, mostly a lot of them focus on his sexuality, being a gay black man in the music industry, and his kind of really embrace of that. Right? This isn't like him being hush hush about it. This is this isn't like in the 70s Queen being like, I might be bisexual. It's like, no.
Freddie, you're gay.
Yeah, which is really refreshing of just him being completely just embracing his own sexuality.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's still getting so much pushback, and it's fucking 2021. Anyway, track 2, Dead Right Now.
Dead Right Now. This is the second track, and it's not a single.
I will say this is one of the few proper use of drum pads, I feel. Often it's just used when they can't get a hold of somebody who knows how to play a drum set. But this is like
Sam, this is drum sets. Sam, what are you talking about? They don't face drums anymore.
Yeah,
we have the machines do that.
You got the snare, you got the hi-hat. You don't just have a bunch of squares on a pad that you touch with your fingers. But this is a proper use of the squares on the pad that you touch with your fingers. It would sound very out of place to have a drum set here.
Yes, it's a little more low-key. It's got these like electronic trumpets and humming in the background, with a lot more, I guess, audibly or noticeably auto-tuned singing. But of course, that kind of deep trap backing beat. Now, it pairs interestingly with the brass.
Yeah, and he brings in some of that choir there too. I didn't get the timestamp for that one, but the choir does a really good job at kind of splitting up the song. It kind of just comes in for that impact hit towards the middle, and I would have liked a bit more, honestly, because choir music, hip hop. I feel like choir just goes with so many different genres, and it never gets used to its fullest extent. They do pop back in a little bit towards the end for some woos. But other than that, there's not. I understand wanting to have that impact hit of the choir, but you can kind of have them mumbling away in the background at least. But that's very, very, very nitpicky.
Yeah, no, it's I do like the choir and the female vocals jumping up as well. Mm-hmm. I think they pair nicely with the beat. I don't think Nas is like the most like technically impressive singer. But he really does make up for it with personality.
Yeah.
As you know, he has in spades.
Yeah, there's nothing I would say that's terribly technically impressive on this. It sure as hell sounds good in quite a few spots. And then, of course, he throws in some synth there at the end, which gotta love me some synth.
It's a nice little cool down after the initial single.
Jumping into track 3 if you're ready, Coop.
Yes, track number 3, Industry Baby with Jack Harlow.
Isn't it Industry Bay?
Huh? Industry Baby.
Oh, you have it wrong on the...
Oh, you don't have to say that out loud, Sam. I only knew... You just said that... You could just said baby. You knew.
Well, no, I didn't, because on my sheet it says Industry Bay, and so I typed Industry Bay, so they saw that I already typed it wrong. I was passing the blame from myself to you. No, this is another one of his singles. And remind me who Jack Harlow is. Is that somebody I would know?
Probably you wouldn't know. He's a pretty famous rapper. Huh? Well, you're not super with it.
Are you calling me not hip, Cooper?
I'm hip. I'm with it.
I'll have you know, last year I was in the top 0.005% of ELO listeners on Spotify.
Well, if that's not it with it, I don't know what is. He's an American rapper. Also younger than us, in case you want to know.
Oh, great, of course. We're getting to that age where there's starting to be people who are younger than us that are extremely successful. Which is weird because, up until this point, everyone's been older than us or much, much older than us.
Now we're the old ones.
Yeah. I think, what is it? Who plays Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire?
No, the new one.
Andrew Garfield.
No, after that.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. He's older than us, right?
I think he's around the same age.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say he's older because that makes me feel better. He's older than me. He might be younger than you.
Okay.
But that was like that's like the closest somebody's been in age to me in a movie. Like that's a big movie star. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't like that. Anyway,
only get weirder.
March of time. Back to the song.
Yeah, no, this one is very much got a braggadocio song with these kind of blaring trumpets. It's like a trap anthem going on. With Lil Nas X's vocal performance being pairing well with that deep bass in those trumpets.
Mm-hmm. I get the use of the canned trumpets, but this one in particular would sound so good with full brass. It's very, big band structure, so it would work. There's other spots on the album where, canned brass, you can't do that kind of stuff with normal trumpet. But right here, it's like, this is perfect if you just had a trumpet section. But, that's not something that a lot of artists do these days is gather up, let's get these like 6 or 7 or 8 trumpet players and get them in to do the song. But some great harmonization on the vocals. The chorus on this one I felt was pretty overused. I think that mainly boiled down to the trumpet line being the exact same as the vocal line for the chorus. So it stacks and gets a bit heavy pretty quick there.
I can really get tired of the trumpet line. I mean, it's ever present, sure. But it kind of lays off during the lyrics before kind of really going back in proper during the chorus.
Yeah, I think it just felt a bit too ever present for me, and it was a pretty short loop on those. Just a little bit longer, and maybe not have them play the same melody as the the chorus, and that would have been a little bit better. And this is within like the first minute and a half. Thankfully, though, Jack Harlow comes in like right at the right moment to kind of spice things up. And of course, as always, I assume if you aren't focusing and nitpicking the fucking music, then you can just sit and enjoy it. I'm sure those trumpets aren't nearly as irritating.
Wait, I was nitpicking the music and I enjoyed it.
Well, when I sit down to write, I nitpick a lot harder than on things that normally you can just get away with, because who's sitting there and doing this?
Jack Harlow coming through with a rap verse.
All right, Cooper. But I don't know, his style just kind of helps. It's different enough that it gives that nice little bit of spice.
Yeah, it's a pure rap verse. It's not any singing. So that's a nice, rap feature there. And it's got a pretty fun music video as well, where Lil Nas X is breaking out of jail, which he was sent to for being gay. And it's just a fun prison break kind of music video. There's also, in the music video, there's a scene where he's like, in the prison showers, and all of them are dancing naked, right?
Mm-hmm. As you do.
And after he uploaded the official music video, he released a video titled Industry Baby Uncensored. But as soon as it's just about to get to the shower scene, the video just gets trapped in a loading cycle, and then the video ends. Which is pretty funny.
That's pretty funny. It's ridiculous how good at marketing he is.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking to my sister about this. I'm like, if he was doing this on behalf of a company, then he would have gotten shut down so long ago. Not by the company, but by regular people, because people hate being advertised to. But I think people put up with it with him because he's advertising himself. Yeah, and he's promoting some success. Yeah, and we're like, hey, yeah, that's pretty funny. You're making fun of yourself. You're having fun with it. People are much more forgiving to an individual as opposed to a faceless corporation. Yeah.
And plus all his quote unquote controversy is really just directed at pearl clutchers. So
yeah. But I'm talking about the shoes and the, that uncensored thing. That's clearly a marketing ploy. But because it's just boosting him up. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's great. And people just eat it up.
Huh?
Of which I am one of them. But this one, I feel like it could have used a bit more in the instrumental department. It gets a little bit right there at the end, but I feel like it could have used it earlier. I don't know. With the rap verse, kind of, you don't want to overshadow that at all. So I get where it's coming from.
Okay, fair enough. You could just go into track number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Track number 4, That's What I Want. Starts with another acoustic-led beginning. Montero really likes his acoustic-led songs.
Yes.
Or right at the beginning.
Now, this one I felt was a little iffy at the start with the acoustic. It didn't mesh incredibly well, I thought, right at the beginning with the vocal line. But man, does it pay off with the chorus.
Yeah, it bumps into a very, maybe the most, I guess, quote-unquote poppy chorus on the album.
Yeah.
With very, plinky synth and these sing-along vocals.
Very catchy. And this one, I think, far and away has some of the best instrumental progression throughout the album.
Which is funny, this is not even a 2.5-minute song.
Yeah, but the instrumental progression continues right up to the end with a nice little bass solo right before it ends.
Yeah, I mean, this one's a pretty tight listen. Mm-hmm. I mean, lyric, chorus, and 2:24.
Yeah.
But yeah, I quite like the instrumentation. It's a very, very bright song. And then it kind of ends on that cool note. I don't have a super much to say. Just I think it's a good inclusion.
Yeah, this one kind of pulled me in, and I didn't type a whole lot other than what I've already said. So
it's a fun danceable pop track.
Yeah, very pop. Not as pop as some of these later ones are disturbing. We'll get to that. Well, I think it's things going on in my head. Track 5, which really isn't a track.
Yeah, this is just an intermission. It's a 24-second kind of spoken word thing about him wondering, being introspective, about whether he has enough drive in life.
Kind of odd to put an intermission on track 5 when most of the songs have not. I don't think there's been a single song over 3 minutes yet, right?
No. Well, Industry Baby and Dead Right Now are like 3.5 minutes.
Okay. It's pretty quick in there.
Though I do find this funny, Sam, because obviously we review things as an album, right? As the full project.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes to show how much of a singles artist Lil Nas X is. So, Montero, almost 1 billion views, but it was a lead single. Mm-hmm. For reference, That's What I Want, the song we just listened to, mm-hmm. 11 million streams. Okay, album just released.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Art of Realization, 11,000 streams.
Wow. So we might have been within the first 10K if we... 10K listens. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a singles artist, so people don't really, at least with obviously this is showing that with Lil Nas X, they don't click start of the first song and they listen all through the last song. It's a lot more thrown into the playlist, right?
Kids these days don't respect the full album experience.
Let me tell you about a little album called Time. No, I think different artists, treat the album differently.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X is a lot more singles. Some artists are a lot more album focused.
I will say this is not nearly as bad as the late 2010s, though, in terms of singles albums. Holy fuck, late 2010s was bad.
Yeah, because even the non-single songs on this, I think are pretty good.
Yeah.
Some late 2010 albums are like, you can tell what's the single, what's not the single.
Well, also, he is not... I was going to get into this later, but since we're on the intermission, I'll just cover it now. His style, he doesn't just use a cookie cutter style. All the songs on this album, for the most part, are so different from each other. There's a couple that are a little similar, but there's no instance of you roll over into the next song. It's like, well, did it really roll over into the next song? Are we in the previous song still? Looking at you, Imagine Dragons Origins.
We will never let them live that down.
No, I mean, last episode didn't. I'll forget that. But yeah, it might be a singles album, but it's not like late 2010s or late 2000s cookie cutter singles.
He definitely puts effort into all of his tracks.
Yes. Speaking of effort, going to one with little of it, track number 6.
Oh, you don't care for track number 6, Scoop, featuring Doja Cat?
I don't care for the chorus of 15 scoops in a row. No, I can't say I do.
Yeah, the chorus isn't the most complex on this album.
Yeah, it's... I could forgive it if there was any instrumentals at all. There's some fake staccato strings that are attempting to hold everything together and desperately failing.
It's very scarce instrumental. I mean, there's like some light synth backing. Nas has his vocals going off, of course. It actually kind of gave me kind of a bit of a throwback vibe of like early like auto-tune kind of synth anthems back in like the early 2000s. Where they're a little less, I guess, technically like verbose.
They had an idea for the words, but not much else.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this one's built around Nas saying the word scoop. Yeah. But it's not like every song needs to be lyrically complex, but it's fair with a pretty scarce instrument.
If you're going to have a non-lyrically complex song, you at least have to include more than 2 instruments playing a note every 5 minutes. The lyrics have some interesting flow to them, but there's just nothing here. Like, it's like we passed through the Art of Realization, and then suddenly we walked from the Amazon rainforest into the fucking Sahara Desert. It's like, wait, where'd everything go?
I mean, it does have a Doja Cat. It does have a feature, Doja Cat, where she does a rap verse. I've never been a big fan of hers, so I don't super care for it.
I don't know what that is.
But she was the rap feature on this song.
No, okay, yeah. Thanks, Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, she always seemed like a little, and maybe I just haven't listened to enough of her stuff. Like a little like bit of a Nicki Minaj like ripoff, at least in delivering this song.
Yeah.
Which she's older than us, Sam. So there's that. Yes, my youth, it's back.
I feel myself getting younger.
I can breathe. I can fight.
Oh God, I can't reach the keyboard anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm not crazy about this one. Yeah. The chorus is so. Instrumental's lacking. I'm not a big.
He says the word "scoop" 10 times, and then the chorus is over.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah,
that's scoop.
Keep moving on to track number 7 then.
Track number 7, "One of Me," featuring Elton John, and I do have a beef for this.
Really?
Well, with the fact that it says featuring Elton John,
and then he doesn't sing.
Where's the Elton? He does. I haven't looked this up, but I'm assuming it means he's featured as the piano player, which is nice. But I wanted some Elton John vocals.
See, I had an issue with this as well because they put his pianos pretty far back in the mix.
Yeah,
like if you're featuring Elton John, he kind of pushes him to the back quite a bit there. Also, initially I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting Elton John on this album. And I was like, oh wait, actually this makes more sense than Gorillaz.
I liked his Gorillaz features, but I guess he actually sang on the Gorilla feature.
He did sing on the Gorillaz album.
This one is like piano, and it's like you said, weirdly far back in the mix. And it's Elton John piano playing.
Yeah, I mean the fucking drum pad is louder than him. You get the drum pad in every fucking song. If you're gonna have a feature, you bring him to the front. That is the point of the feature.
So I feel like I'll use the phrase "wasted potential" because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
You're getting an Elton John feature, especially on your debut album. I feel like you push that at least a little bit more, but
yeah, I mean, fucking Doja Cat was louder than Elton John, and we're not just being old men yelling at clouds here. If you get a name that big to bring you into more,
he kind of buried the lead on this one. I mean, not that it's a bad song.
No.
It's got a heavy trappy, a lot more of a kind of sad, melancholic vibe. And of course, the piano that does speak through the instrumental is Elton John playing piano. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. But it's just it gets drowned out at points. Which, I mean, I think mixing might not be his strong suit. But
I think his mixing is. I mean, he's got an army of producers underneath him.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not. Lil Nas X is not in somebody's basement
doing it all himself.
Oh, geez, I hope this sounds good.
And I mean, I'm ragging on it, but there has been some albums we've listened to that are absolutely dog shit in their mixing.
Some ass mixing.
This has been, by and large, mostly very, very good mix. It's just this one song. It's like, man, come on, really? You got the. I mean, it's not like the
piano's. The piano's not mixed bad.
No,
it's just
not.
like
it's just too quiet.
It's like it's Elton John, man.
Like if it wasn't Elton John. No issues whatsoever. But the fact that you're proclaiming featuring Elton John and then you mix the piano back into almost nothingness at points, it's like, it doesn't even get that loud most of the time. Aside from the piano at the start, then it gets buried.
So, a little disappointing there. I mean, still a good song. Just,
I like it. It's a good song.
A little missed potential. You got Sir Elton John on the song.
Yeah, he's I'd say Elton John's a bit of a big deal, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, no, that's just you, Sam. Elton, you mean the guy from the Beatles?
Yeah, he's British, right? British.
Yes, British. Now let's go on to track number 8, "Lost in the Cathedral." I couldn't say that word for some reason.
You want to try that again? That's definitely not cathedral.
I don't want to try it again.
It's track number 8. Citadel.
Oh Lord! Wow, I told you I didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah, good thing you mentioned that earlier, else I'd be roasting you right now.
Somebody smell toast? No. Lost in the Citadel. So another bit of a sad boy song. With kind of like these low synthy horns underneath a pretty low-key start to the song.
Yeah, it's very droney right at the start. And it's got some interesting settings. Like it's almost like square wave. I don't know. I wasn't paying close enough attention to pick up the actual setting of it, but it sets the scene really well. and thankfully it's only used in brief spurts because it starts rattling your head a bit with the atonal droning. But this one to me sounded very late 2000s punk rock.
I wrote something very similar, and I think it's that guitar.
Yes, and the drum set.
The guitar and drum set carries a very specific energy, which, I mean, to be fair, Lil Nas X, he grew up during the early 2000s. I would have been shocked. So it's not
to the skeletons in my closet part of the album, where I was like, oh man, this sounds a lot like the late 2000s. I started having flashbacks. But I think his vocals also do a lot for it because they carry a lot of angst.
Yeah, they kind of, and then paired with those kind of chunky guitar riffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was I was like, wow, this is straight out of a late 2000s punk rock.
Like pop punk bed. Yeah. Which I like the use of the electric guitar on this song, honestly.
Yeah.
It hasn't been on the album yet, really.
And a real drum set, too.
Yeah, and his, sad boy vocals on this, pair well with the instrumental.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I'm not a fan of that. That hard cut at the end was too hard. Like, the drum hit didn't even finish. Like, at least don't have any instruments actively playing a staccato note while you cut. It was a bit quick for me. Yeah.
And I mean, I guess this album doesn't really have much in terms of, like song to song synergy. It is a singles album.
Yeah.
So I guess that's not really surprising. But, there's not really any interesting lead-ins from one song to another.
No, but I mean, I feel like I think of that more as a treat when we get it,
That's not necessary for an enjoyable album experience. Just, when you have a hard cut like that, you're like, okay, yeah, they're a little more segmented.
Like, I like the hard cut, don't get me wrong. The hard cut was the way to go. It was the fact that the drum was in the middle of like a snare hit. And then they cut in the middle of that. I was like, come on. It's like a fourth of a beat. Just let it finish and then cut. It just felt kind of slap shot. Jumping to track number 9, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 9, $sign Slime, featuring Megan Thee Stallion. Which is Megan Thee Stallion? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a V, not a 3.
No. That's how she spells it.
I believe you. You did spell
this one's
wrong on this one.
So, Megan Thee Stallion and Lil Nas X on this song. A bit of a mood change. Where this one's a little more braggadocio with these like really farty trumpets as the main backing instrument.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about earlier with the good use of canned trumpets. Real brass here would sound too bright. It would be too in your face. So I think I am not sure I've ever said canned trumpets are used properly here, but this is a proper use of canned trumpets. Probably the first one I've heard.
Yeah, so it works better with the trap instrumental, where you can really control the trumpets.
Have them do things that aren't exactly normal for a brass instrument to be able to do.
Manipulate it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course there's a Megan Thee Stallion feature, which I quite liked. I like her rap verses. She really knows how to keep the energy of the song, and her lyrics are pretty funny, provocative, and everything you expect from Megan Thee Stallion. So I think she delivered. It was a pretty short verse, but I liked it.
Yeah, it was, for me, it was really jarring. The energy difference between her and Lil Nas X's vocals were ridiculous. She was like higher in the mix and very, very crisp compared to him. Like initially when she first came in, I was like, shit, do I have another tab open somewhere? Is this coming in from somewhere? And it's like right on the edge of being too close to the mic. It's not quite, but just the style jump between their vocals was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now kind of thing. The vocals were good. It was just that weird mixing of that was. Yeah,
it's definitely Megan was mixed like Megan, and Lil Nas X was mixed like he was on the rest of this album.
Yeah, there wasn't much meshing going on there.
Yeah, so it's a little not exactly lockstep, but it's still fine.
Yeah. It was just initially when it flipped, I'm like, crap, do I have a tab open?
Did I turn WAP on by accident?
Jump into track number 10, if you're ready, Coop.
Track number 10, Tales of Dominica, which starts with a very dreamy acoustic start, as we've had on a couple of these songs.
Not just acoustic. Spanish
acoustic. With Nas's very bassy vocals coming in before like more stacked vocals busting onto the scene.
Okay, we're getting into the weird. These next two ones, I had a bit of or next couple ones, it was really weird for me. There's something about the vocal twinge in the chorus that really rubs me the wrong way.
Really?
I think it's like a Coldplay thing. I think is what it is.
A Coldplay thing. I don't know what you.
There's some vocal melodic progression that he does that just gives me psychic damage. It's like he took a drop of late 2000s music and condensed it, and he just flicks it at you every once in a while. It's my own mental holdups. It's a great song, but it's just there's something about that specific spot in the chorus.
Oh, why do you say that like it's a bad thing, Sam?
Well, because I'm sick of it. Like I said, it's my own mental holdup.
As a big fan of Coldplay, I've really liked the vocal flicks on this.
Don't get me wrong, Coldplay can be good, but I'm saying anything relating to the late 2000s kind of hurts me when I listen to it now.
That seems like more of a you.
That's what I said. It's my own. It's a good song. It's my own mental holdup. So I try not to hold it to it too bad, but it was all I could focus on.
I like this song. It's got that percussion thumping in the background, kind of like these kind of chainy sounds that break into the mix every now and then, kind of add to the character of it. And like I said, I really like the vocal styling on this one. I know you just said that you don't like it, but I am drawn to it.
No, it's good. It's just that it's not a case where it's bad vocal styling. It's good vocal styling. I just don't like it, you know? Like, it's very good song.
You're aware of
I'm aware of the fact that just something in my brain broke in the late 2000s, so I hate the music. And there's some great violin here at the end of the song as well.
Yes.
But again, it's drowned out under the drum pad. Like, you gotta play up the differences between songs just a little bit. Like, it'll make it even more memorable. Drum pads in every fucking song. Play up those little differences here and there.
I wouldn't say it was drowned out.
Well, it was below it.
I mean, it was kind of mixed in a way that's like a little dreamier, maybe not super in focus.
Yeah, true. I think my issue was the fact with how crisp the drum pad was compared to how out there the violin was.
Sure. I just think that they were going for a more dreamy mix on the things, like with the acoustic at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you keep the streams like that. It'd be kind of weird to just switch up the drums there at the end.
Well, I mean, if you're going for dreamy, make the drums dreamy too.
I think the drums worked. I like the way how thumpy they were.
Well, you like Coldplay, so what do you?
Okay, well, touche. I like their first few albums. Some of their newer stuff I'm not on board with, but
jump into track number 11.
Track number 11, Sun Goes Down.
The sun goes down.
You okay?
Yeah, just having some ELO flashbacks.
Oh man. Sun Goes Down. Another acoustic sad boy song.
This was the one that broke me. This one is just a late 2000 song. I don't know I can't explain what it is, but it is a late 2000 song, and I've heard it before.
But it just came out, Sam.
No, I'm saying like the inspiration is I don't know. It's just this one hurt me. Again, more psychic damage taken from this one.
I mean, I wasn't as big of a fan as this one as Tales of Dominica.
Yeah, it's not as good of a beat on this one.
Yeah, so it's a lot more low key. Instrumentals, pretty a little maybe on the boring side. I do like the continuation of the violins into it. Just a little sleepier. It does have a good emotionality behind it. Like it's I'm not sure how much you were paying attention to the lyrics, but it's mostly about kind of like Lil Nas X talking about him coming to terms with his sexuality in his youth. Kind of how that affected him.
I was too busy listening to the layers on this one, which there's quite a few of them, like an onion. Yeah, this one has quite a bit of depth to it, which I liked. compared to some of the previous ones we listened to, which are just vocals and the drum pad. This one, while it doesn't have the best beat, I think it makes up for it with all of the layers that's got going on.
I don't know. It's layered nicely. I just think maybe it's a little on the boring side, personally.
Oh, fair enough. Jumping to track number 12.
Track number 12, Void. The longest track on the album.
Yeah. Now, this is
just not 4 minutes. What's that?
He's good at writing music. He's hot, and he can sing like this. It's just not fair.
Yeah, honestly, I started to like his vocals more and more as the album went on.
Not that in particular.
Yeah, not that I ever disliked Lil Nas X vocals, but they kind of shared a line between being like good, but also kind of okay. But yeah, I think they show off pretty well here.
Yeah, I mean the soft guitar and the muted drums with his breathy vocals, breathy and distant vocals, kind of melds together into one big pot of good song.
Yeah, no, it's the beginning of the song is mostly just acoustic and Nas's vocals, so he does most of the heavy lifting, and of course the percussion kicks in at like 1:30 and builds up the song. But for a lot of it, he's just holding it up on his vocal performance, and I think it works.
Works very well. And then at 2 minutes, the fucking late 2000s show up again, and it's I don't know what it is. After 2 minutes, if you told me this song came out in 2009, I'd believe you. It sounds so right. Like, I get, as much as I complain about the 2000 style, I see why this is the longest on the album. It definitely stands up under the double song length load. Of all the songs to be 4 minutes long, this is the one.
Oh yeah, because it has like a nice slow build up.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least for Lil Nas X standards, when your singles are like 2 minutes long.
Yeah. Very quick in terms of Pink Floyd standards.
Yes. Pink Floyd is like, it's not even the double digits yet. 30 minutes.
You telling me the longest song on the album isn't 15 minutes? And with that, we alienated any Gen Zers that are still listening.
Oh, Gen Z likes Pink Floyd too. Who hasn't heard Dark Side of the Moon?
I bet quite a few of them. I know my sister hasn't listened to anything older than her.
Well, that's not fair.
Jump into track number 13 if you want.
Yes, track number 13. Don't Want It. It starts with like the most trappy of trap beats.
Yeah, big style change compared to Void.
Which is kind of weird because like every song basically after $sign Slime is like all sad boy acoustic songs on the back half of this album, besides Don't Want It.
Yeah, we jump back to early album sound.
Except not done like as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the bassy vocals come back, which I like.
Bassy vocals are nice, but like the beat's pretty like just such a generic trap beat. I mean, there's some nice synthy plops thrown in there. But I don't know. The song just doesn't really do anything interesting, I think.
It doesn't do anything interesting. Cooper, he got me with the gimmick. He has media callouts from the single Montero.
Okay, yeah, but that's like a little self-masturbatory, I think.
It is. But
there's clips of people saying like, I can't believe how well Lil Nas X is selling. Yeah. It's like, okay. Like, you are selling really well. And you've earned it, but like also that's a bit of too much of a pat on the back.
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was a bit on the nose.
That's his whole shtick, though.
I don't know. I think if like he rapped about it, like he was bragging about himself, then it's fine, right? But like adding in like random news clips, like Lil Nas X just came forward. I think it could have been either like done funnier or maybe like so on the nose that's ironic. This one just feels like it's kind of like tossed in.
Well, it wasn't the whole point of this one. He wasn't sure he wanted the popularity.
I guess.
And what better point to drive that home than some random news anchors on the local news stations talking about a song?
I just think it could have been done like a more interesting way, or like incorporated better.
Yeah.
Besides just like a segment of the song as a newscast. I mean, it's only a 2-minute song, so
It's a pretty short one. I thought it was all right. Jump to track number 14.
Track number 14, Life After Salem. Back to the sad boy hours, because this one starts with a very creaky guitar intro. And then Lil Nas X's forlorn vocals come in.
Yeah, this is getting back to a bit too hollow. It's slow and thin. Leaves me, wanting more, especially this late in the album. I guess we got to remember that this isn't really structured to be an album listening experience, but still. It fleshes itself out a little bit more as time goes on, but it's just very hollow. There's very limited guitar chords when the guitar is playing. Very sparse and few and far between. Some nice strings come in around the 2:45 mark, but it's just a little too late. It's not a long song.
It's long for this album. It's over 3 minutes. Sam.
Yeah, but I'm saying to have your instrumental progression that close to the end of the song, it's too little, too late.
No, I think he could have done more because like the chorus has like kind of these kind of harder, heavier electric guitar breakdowns. Not like hard rock, but something that kind of adds a little more energy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure how I would change it up. I feel like it could have been worked in better because like the lyrics are so scarce. But I still don't care about the chorus, even if it does it a bit harder and adjacent to it. And the song gets a little metal with the guitars as well, I feel.
Yeah. Just not enough instruments for my taste. I like whatever instrument there was at the end there. But it comes in like right at the end and then the song ends.
Sam, you can't just give this album 0 stars because it didn't feature the glockenspiel.
I wasn't planning to. I really appreciate a break from the fucking glockenspiel, which is apparently ever present in fucking music in the modern era, which I don't understand.
Because it's quirky, Sam.
Everybody uses it. I didn't realize how prevalent it was.
Oh, it's not on this album.
Thank goodness it isn't. Jumping to track number 15.
Track number 15, Am I Dreaming, featuring Miley Cyrus. He's now collaborated with both of the Cyruses.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. Does her mom sing at all? Just got one left, if that's the case. Does she have any siblings? Because if not, he's got the whole family.
She has 5 siblings. Wow.
Okay, so he's got some work to do yet.
Though, I don't know. 3 of her other siblings have Wikipedia pages, so they're obviously doing something.
Mm-hmm. Or is it the case of they have Wikipedia pages because they're
they're all singers or musicians.
But this one, the start, great. Birdsong, acoustic. It's just fantastic. I will say, I don't know if you noticed this, Cooper. This song seems a lot louder than previous songs. I actually turned down my audio, and it seemed just as loud as the rest of the album after I turned my computer down.
Maybe a little bit. I guess there's some instrumental stacking with the vocals and the acoustic and the violins. I didn't notice it being that much louder, though.
I say quite a bit. I turned my computer down 1 notch, which
okay.
I operate between 8 and 12. So
wow.
8, 10, 12. So I turned it down from 12 to 10. Well, that's a big jump usually. But this one, just so much great progression. You got the string introduction early on to drive some progression, and then Miley Cyrus comes in after her 3rd pack of the day. Not a big fan of her vocals. I'm gonna be honest.
I like her vocals. Well, what do you mean 3rd pack? She's not talking like this. I was Hannah Montana.
That's what she sounds like, Cooper.
She does not sound. I'm listening to her. She does not sound like that. I mean, maybe they're a little more husky. I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Than when she was younger. But I still like the vocal quality, and I think it matches the energy of the song as good as well.
Oh yeah,
which kind of kind of leads to a weird thing where she's like the one singing low.
Yeah, I just think it sounds like she smokes a lot of cigarettes. She's got that. I remember when they invented.
No,
chocolate
you're over. There's a little bit of husk to it. I think you're overselling it.
A little bit, but not much.
Sam, you're just mad that you were never able to go to a taping of the Hannah Montana show.
No, that was my sister. I fucking hated it. She sang every song and watched every episode. It was awful.
And but this also the last track on the album ends on I guess a bit of an atmospheric note. Mm-hmm. Sound of someone like falling into water, I suppose, and then like thunder and rain and crickets.
So,
bit of a mood ending.
The ending kind of took me out of it because there's a thunderclap right at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thunderclap that Hans Zimmer uses at the end of the Interstellar soundtrack in What Happens Now.
You're the only one who would have noticed that.
I know. It kind of ruins it for me because of it.
Sam, your brain is broken.
I know, and it's my encyclopedic knowledge of stock thunder sounds, I guess. That's the issue, but as soon as that happened, I'm like, God, it's the same sound. That's all I'm going to be able to think about now. And I even went and checked, and it's the exact same sound effect. So,
well, yeah, because they don't have that many thunderclap sound effects.
But I listened to so many songs with thunder in them, I know them all. So that kind of ruined it for me.
Sam has poo brain, everybody. I'm sorry for his debilitating ability to identify thunderclap by sound.
Listen, thunder is very chaotic, and when you hear one that sounds exactly the same as another one, you remember it.
No, you don't.
I did.
Oh, yeah, but you're not.
I'm weird. I'm a weirdo, okay?
Oh, you're weird. I don't fit in, and I don't want to fit in.
Well, that's the album.
Yeah, no. 15 tracks, 41 minutes. And, now we're at the end. So, Sam, I guess we'll start with you. Let's start with negative. What was your least favorite track on this album?
Surprise, surprise, it's Scoop. It's pretty bad. There are no instrumentals. Terrible chorus. There's not really anything going on there. They have a gun cocking sound effect, but so does every other synthwave song in existence. So, not a fan. What about you?
I agree with Scoop. I also want to throw into the hat, Don't Want It. I didn't care for that song either. It felt like very much afterthought. And don't think it had really anything interesting going. So I feel like you could just throw that one away.
Yeah.
If you're taking Scoop with you. 2 scoops.
2 scoops for your ears.
2 scoops for your ears, finally.
Remember, that was a potential name for the podcast.
Like, we had a lot of bad potential names.
I've still got the file saved. Oop, shit, I clicked a button.
Lord.
I've still got the file saved so we can make fun of ourselves.
Finally.
What's your favorite, Cooper? What's your favorite?
My favorite? I'd probably have to say I really like Industry Baby as a single. Fun song, catchy song. Good Jack Harlow feature. And just a fun all-around song. I also really like Tales of Dominica.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the Sad Boy songs. I really like the instrumental on that one, and I thought Lil Nas X's vocals paired well with them. I thought it was a good one with his nice bassy vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I quite liked both of those. What about you, Sam?
I gotta say, That's What I Want. I don't remember what caught me about it because I didn't write much down because I was focused on the song. I was focused on listening. But I specifically remember the instant it finished. I'm like, well, that's the best one so far. I don't remember why. It doesn't. Poppy? Well, it doesn't. It probably is the pop factor. It doesn't have the earworminess though, which I think I also like.
Fair. That's fair. Ooh.
Another earthquake?
No, that was just me hitting the table.
Well, we got to introduce the rating system, Cooper. I think I did it last time, so why don't you go?
I'll take the lead then. As you know, me and Sam, I think the term car expert, is we deserve a little praise. I think we're car masters.
I think master is even not generous enough.
Some car pantheon, like the Greek gods. Like if there's a Greek god for automobiles, it'd be us.
I feel like you're still downplaying it, but continue.
Needless to say, we know every car inside, every car, not every type of car, every single car. We know inside and out. Me and Sam, like, you know how like you imprint on like a baby dinosaur? We do that, but with every car that's manufactured in the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. And throughout their entire lives even. Like
yes,
Mike in California, clean out your cup holders, man. That's disgusting.
Yes, it consumes all of our time.
Yep.
So, of course, we made our podcast audio automobile themed. And that leads us to our rating system, where at the tip top, cream of the crop, we got Showroom, which is this is the album that you just want to sing from the top of the mountains. You want to show it to everyone because it's just that good. And then all the way down at the bottom, you got Scrapyard. This is bottom of the barrel. This is something that you want to shove deep inside yourself and never let out again. This one, you know, you lock the door and throw away the key because you thoroughly did not enjoy this experience. And then in between, well, you have like a new fixer-upper used rental, which might give a low or high depending on our mood. Yeah, that's our rating system. So, Samuel, what did you think about Lil Nas X debut album, Montero?
You know, I really liked it. I think I'm going to give it a like new. Just slap bang in the middle kind of thing. It's got a lot of variety on it. Honestly, could have done better with the album structure. I think that would have pushed it up a notch even. It is a singles album. You can't really get away from that. That's what his experience is. Fair enough. You know, maybe he'll come and do, you know, I like to think in the future we'll get a concept album, a soundscape, if you will. I think that's right up his alley, and I can't wait for it. But I think a lot of really good songs on this album, just a couple of stinkers, but I think those can be excused. I think it's a good listen. You can obviously hit shuffle because it doesn't really matter what order you listen to it in. Although the Sad Boy Hours kind of stay consistent, aside from, you know, that one.
Don't want it.
What about you, Cooper? What do you think?
I agree. I'm going to also give it like a low like new. A very strong initial outing from Lil Nas X. I mean, now 22 coming through with I think a very good debut album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not like much of a through line album-wise, but some strong singles. And I mean, he did. I mean, when your claim to fame is, you know, Old Town Road, a very specific genre of music,
very specific,
right? You know, there's always the fear of the one hit wonder, right? Getting pigeonholed. And I think Lil Nas X proved with his album that you know, he's got some talent. He's able to be a little versatile. He jumps around to quite a few different genres on this.
Oh yeah,
while keeping a core. Yeah, keeping a core identity. I think they succeeded more often than they didn't. I mean, there's still room to grow. It's not a perfect album by any stretch of the imagination. But as an initial outing, you know, very impressive. And, you know, I'm watching his career with great interest.
All right, Palpatine. But that's Montero. So the one person that happened to click onto this thinking it was the album and decided to listen to it anyway. We're going to roll on over now to the Spare Tire, which is just whatever else we've listened to this week. And it is weak, although we should say this is going to be the last one for 2 weeks again, right? Because you can't do it next week, Cooper.
Yeah, you can't do it next week.
No. You can't do it next week.
No. You can't do it.
No, I'm free. I want to do William Shatner's new album.
No. Sorry. My ears stopped working. I can't listen to music
that's
anymore.
what I thought. You can't do next week, and then the week after that, both of us can't do it. So another 2 week break. Hopefully, it's just 2 weeks, because then you got to move at some point too.
That's in the future. We'll worry about that when we get there.
But we got a lot of hot albums coming up. I'm excited. I looked at the album release. We got hit after hit. We got William Shatner, ABBA.
Why'd you start with that?
Because that's the next one coming out, Cooper. Duran Duran, Public Broadcasting Radio. Just so much good stuff coming. ABBA. I don't think I said ABBA.
You did say ABBA.
Okay. Well, Elton John. He's coming too.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of good stuff coming out. So don't worry. All you Thanksgiving fans out there, we're still going to do Thanksgiving, but it might not be the whole month. Because ABBA's right at the start of the month. So, but Cooper, what have you been listening to? Since you probably have quite a bit more than I do.
I listen to a lot of Little Sims. Going through her back catalog, I've been listening to. great British rapper, which great projects to repel. Also listened to the new Sufjan Stevens album that just came out. Yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, it's not like his other stuff. It's a lot more of a electronic kind of like instrumental album, which he releases one every now and again. That's just like electronic music. This one's like very, very dreamy, very esoteric, I guess. I mean, it's basically about like the meditation on like the death of his biological father, which I guess he didn't know very well. So, it's a very introspective album, but only like through like instrumentation stuff. But interesting listen. Also listened to, finally got around to listening to Lingua Ignota's 2019 album, Caligula. It made me feel like I was going to die, but like in a good way.
Okay.
It's her music's spooky, Sam. Makes you sound like I'm getting dragged to the underworld. But again, like in a good way. So some different projects I've been listening to. What about you, Sam?
Oh, just AOLO as always. Did some listen to sketches of Brunswick East several times again, I think.
Good.
Listened to a bit of Pink Floyd, the very original Dark Side of the Moon album. Listened to a bit of that.
Oh, I never heard of that one before.
I checked out Hazley, I think her name is.
Hazley. I'm not super familiar.
Halsey. At the recommendation of one of my other friends. Not really a fan. Her biggest song that is, let me get to her page, Closer. She was part of Closer with the Chainsmokers.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of the Chainsmokers.
Also, Closer is a fucking terrible song. One of those ones that was beaten to death by radio, which are always great when they do that. But yeah, just not a fan of her style. It's very now, which I'm not a fan of the now pop music.
You like Lil Nas X? She says now as you get.
He's not straight pop. She is straight pop. And the current straight pop is not my cup of tea. And then I also went back and checked out a little bit of little old friend you might remember, Cooper, Mr. B, the Gentleman Rhymer.
Of course.
That was just because I wanted to play one of his songs for the friend that recommended Hazley to get him to stop talking to me about music.
You're just going to respond with William Shatner spoken word from now on, aren't you?
Listen, I told my other Discord about that, and they're like, that sounds like a great album. I can't wait for it to come out. And then I am not joking. I told them that you said Cooper doesn't want to review that album, and they said, that sounds stupid. We should totally review that album.
Yeah. We should also go out to the local bars and ask some guy stumbling out of bar if we should, go into the middle of the street and start licking the asphalt. He'll say, yeah, that's really hilarious. Do it.
Listen, just because you don't unironically love the interview with William Shatner taken after he directed Star Trek V and made into a song about him fucking a mountain, doesn't mean that he doesn't make good music.
No, I think that's exactly what that means.
He didn't even make that song.
Well, it'd probably be worse if he made it.
You're probably right. But yeah, just the same old. I would listen to so much more, but I just don't get signal at work. So it's hard for me to sit down and find things to listen to and then download them.
Well, download a copy of Cocteau Twins, Heaven or Las Vegas.
Okay. The other issue is it has to be something I can listen to while working and be able to focus on work and not focus entirely on what the heck is this music.
What the heck? What the heck?
So, yeah. But anyway, thank you all for listening. If you've liked what you've heard for some godforsaken reason, you can scroll down and into Twitch, there's a picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the glasses and the curly hair. Take you right on over to YouTube, where all of our past, except for the Supertramp episode, albums are.
Rest in peace, Breakfast in America.
Yeah, that's my bad. I didn't transfer it. But all of them get uploaded now the day of. They might not go live the day of because YouTube's kind of slow with the processing. And if you're on YouTube, come to the Twitch, check it out. We've gotten 2 messages today. One is Matt bragging for listening within the last 20 seconds. So, and if you want to know what we're listening to next,
you can head on over to the Audio Shop Twitter at AudioShop14. Keep you updated on what we're going to be listening to and when we're going to be listening to it.
Yeah, and who knows what we're going to do next. We got 2 weeks. Shatner comes out next week, so hopefully I can convince Cooper for the next one. Although, actually, I think there was something else coming out. That was...
Oh, shucks, we'll have to review whatever that is.
we'll have to see. I'm getting you to listen to that album.
Why is this the hill you want to die on? Shatner?
Because
of all of them? The Shatner hill?
I don't want to die on this hill. I just want to annoy you is what it is.
Shatner would work.
Yeah, exactly. You're giving me ammo here.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See ya.